Thank you again to Hunter Tools and Thompson Tools for supporting our YouTube channel. Please support the companies that are helping us keep these videos going. Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel again. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. I had a request and it really made sense that maybe I can help some other people. Over the years I've worked with a number of disabled vets or people that have had some physical issues, and being able to use my boring bar to do turning from a seated position or even with one hand, with people who have had a stroke or other events that prevent them from having a full physical capabilities. I've showed them how to turn and keep the fun of turning in their lives with some physical issues in the way. So let's get started. We'll work on a process here. I'm going to use a bowl format just to show how to accomplish this, but I'm not really going to finish the bowl. It's just going to be an exercise of the process, and it could be a bowl, it could be a hollow form, could be a lidded box, could be whatever, but we'll get you the techniques that I use that might help if you've got some physical issues. Okay, now if you look, I've got a stool here that I brought up to the lathe, so I can leave the lathe at a regular height. Sometimes it's a matter of, well, I'm going to get up and down and up and down. I got to get off my legs, or I got to get some rest because of stamina issues, whatever. And then I can stand up again and have the lathe at the regular height. The new Robust Scout has a sit-down version if you get in a situation that you're completely in a wheelchair and can't get up, then there's tools that will help you do that. But what I've done is set up my boring bar with my backrest on the lathe and the handle. If you look at the backrest now, is turned around 180 degrees. Usually the long part of the backrest is over there so that we can undercut shoulders and do bulbous shapes and things. But I've swiveled that around and made the long part of the backrest on the front of the lathe so that my handle is over here. Okay, I'm doing that so I can do the outside of a vessel or the outside of a bowl with the tailstock on. Okay. So let's get a close-up of the wood here for a second. Chucked it up between centers on my balance point like I do everything that I do. I start on the balance point between centers. Okay. Instead of using a bowl gouge, I can just sit here with my fingertips and shape the outside of my bowl and prepare it for my faceplate or glue block, and do it just with my fingertips. Okay, so now you see I'm in a seated position on a stool. Got the backrest set up so that I can use the handle with the tailstock there. And now I'm just going to use my fingertips and make the outside shape of the bowl. Okay, so I'm on the balance point, so I can get the speed of the lathe up. Let's ramp it up a bit, get the speed up. Faster we go, the easier it is, and air spaces go by quickly, and it goes tick, tick, tick instead of tonka, tonka. Okay, so now I'm just going to put my hand against the tool rest and just use my fingertips, right? Okay, so now I can clean up that bottom, get the wobble out of it, get a place for my faceplate there. And I'm going to do something different here. I'm going to swivel the swivel around. Okay, so now I have swiveled that around on almost a 90-degree angle to the boring bar, pointing at the wood, so that the swivel assembly is swiveled around so that the carbide cutter, the bevel support of the carbide cutter, is facing towards the wood. And now the tilted angle of the carbide cutter is going to slice through the fibers. I can just take these corners off, slowly just nibble them away. So here we are again. I adjust with my fingertips, just my hand. I'm just going to feel where the wood is. I can't see it, it's kind of wobbling. There's the wood. Okay, so then I'm going to push forward and let the carbide cutter slice through the corners. Be sure to be wearing your face shield. Right, we fast forward a little bit. Now I'm almost round. I've just got a little bit of a flat spot right here, but let's just take another couple cuts after I've got all of that square part out of there. It's a little bit slow going with the smaller tools other than the bowl gouge, but it's really doable from a seated position. So now we're round here. We've got this the diameter that I want it. Now I need to prepare it for the glue block or faceplate. Okay, let's put a straight edge on there so that I can see and sight down there. I can see I'm a little bit concave. Shine a light down there. You see the little wedge. So where I sit my faceplate is going to have a shoulder of the faceplate sitting on the outside and no hump in the middle. Okay, same thing I do with the bowl gouge. I just did with the hollowing tool sitting on a stool. Okay, now I've put the high-speed steel cutter on for those people that might not have the carbide cutter. It's the same thing. We're going to do the same kind of thing, just with my fingertip control. Make a nice straight pass over there. In fact, let's start making a bowl shape here with the high-speed cutter. We're just going to nibble this away. Start to make the bowl shape. There we go. Okay, put the accelerator on the glue block. Put it down on there. Okay. Now I gotta wait maybe 2 minutes for that to cure. Now I've got it on the glue block and reversed it so that I'm working on the inside of the bowl now. I've got it all, the chainsaw mark hogged off a little bit, and I've got this little nub in the middle that I'm going to get rid of, and then we'll start making the inside shape of the bowl. Again, I can just sit here with my fingertips and nibble away. I've got the high-speed steel cutter on right now. Here I'm using my right hand and keep my hand against the tool rest for the anchor for support. Just using my fingertips, and this is again the high-speed steel cutter, so I can go in and out, left, right, back and forth. It doesn't matter what direction. If you're left-handed, put your left hand palm on the tool rest so you're anchored, so you're supported, and just use your fingertips. And we're going to whittle away here at the bowl, and we're just hogging off the middle here and getting the wood out, and then we'll stop and we'll put the laser on and measure the wall and get the wall nice and uniform and the bottom where we want it. Right, again, the outside's done. We did that when before we put it on the glue block. And I hollowed out the inside now. So now we're going to use the laser to help measure our wall thickness, just like we would if it was a hollow form. So I'm going to set the laser on the arrow line, and I'm going to make this, maybe about 3/16 thick, something like that. Whoop, there we go, get back over there. Okay. So now when we're working on inside the vessel, the dot shows us where we're at, how deep we are, and where we're hollowing. And I'm going to come over to the sidewall and make the laser disappear and measure. It's already getting elongating here, so I'm pretty close to that wall thickness right here. Measure, make the laser disappear, measure, 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 measure. Okay, so now I measure, 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 clean up the tool marks with my fingertip control, just back and forth, get all the tool marks out of there, just like I would in a hollow form. And I'm going to reset the laser. As I tuck around the bottom a little bit, I have to move the laser over. See where it's not quite on the line? I'm going to move it over so that it's on the arrow line. Keep that gap perpendicular through the wall. Okay. I'm going to measure some more. Make the laser disappear. Stop. 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 Okay, go back with my fingertips again. Clean up my clean up the wall thickness. Transition it into the previous stage. Okay. Now I'm going to reset the laser right at the tip. In fact, let's get rid of even the lines. I don't need the lines anymore. I'm going to set the laser right at the tip with no gap. Okay. No gap. So now I know how deep I am. Got to go a little bit deeper than that. I'm going to get rid of this waste wood out of here. And I can still be in this seated position here, just using my fingertips. Clean up that inside. I can't measure this down in here, but the laser is showing me where the bottom is, where the inside of the bottom is. Here now, watch the laser very closely. It's going to make the shape of the inside of the bottom right through the glue block. Very slow pace across the surface. The speed of the lathe is going fast, but the tool movement is slow. That leaves a clean cut behind. Now looking at the inside of the bowl, you can see what I did with my fingertips. I go from the middle out and right out to where I measured with the laser, okay, and clean that all up. You see it's a nice rounded surface in there. Now you're going to have a little bit, see if I can show you. All right, now I was using the high-speed steel scraper, and so we're using a scraper in there. It's going to fuzz it up a little bit. I could go back and sharpen and maybe take a real light cut and get some of that. But we're going to have to sand a little bit in there. There's a few, see the little lines where there's a few little tool marks from just my fingertip control. I can just take my time and clean up those tool marks best we can. But we're going to have to sand a little bit in there, but at least it's doable from a seated position. No big deal, all with one hand. Right, normally when we're hollowing, we have the cutter on the left-hand side of the boring bar. And now I need to get in and undercut the shoulder and take care of the business in the bottom. I've reversed it, just put a leather pad and some padding in here and brought the tailstock up so I can work on the bottom just like I do with any other vessel with the tailstock there. But now I need to get the boring bar to cut in there. So I'm going to trick this a little bit. I'm going to do something. I'm going to take this out. I'm going to move it 180 degrees. Put the cutter on the other side of the swivel. Okay. So now that gives me some reach in there. Okay. So again, just with my fingertips here, I'm going to get rid of this waste wood. I'm going to take this down. Just slowly get down to the bowl shape. Okay, now I got it down to a fairly small nub here, as small as I want to. I don't want to split it with the cone type of a holding thing here. It's trying to push into that. It could break, so I don't want to get this too small. And that's going to be real easy to carve that off or put a sanding disc in the drill press and sand it off, whatever, that last little bit. But I just want to clean up the bottom here one more time. Just take a nice little cleaning pass. Just with my fingertips again. In real speed, so I'm going across there slowly. Okay. There we go. Now we're done. We just got to carve that off. Sand it, put some finish on it. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to support our sponsors. See you next time.